tonight on Connecticut's news station as anti-abortion advocates call for change at the state capitol. Supporters are pushing back. State lawmakers up against a deadline to advance a controversial bill.
Plus, as Russian President Vladimir Putin faces an arrest warrant for war crimes, researchers right here in Connecticut are finding evidence of atrocities in Ukraine.
And a law firm says it's the largest personal injury settlement the state of Connecticut has ever paid. Details on the abuse of a young boy injured for life.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we do begin tonight at the state capitol as lawmakers are deciding whether to move a controversial abortion bill forward. Good evening. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, that bill would spend money to help people out of state receive abortion care here in Connecticut. Fox 61's Gabby Molina joins us live outside of the state capitol in Hartford tonight to explain tomorrow's deadline that lawmakers have. Gabby.
Well, Ben and Jen, this all comes as hundreds of people rallied here at the state capitol earlier today against abortion, and many of them spoke out against that bill, but supporters of it say that it could help Connecticut be a leader when it comes to reproductive care. In Connecticut, abortion rights are protected by law, and you don't have to be from the state to receive abortion care here. But a bill lawmakers are considering would take that one step further, spending money to help pay for that care from patients from other states.
Which would spend $2 million of your taxpayer funds to fly poor women from the pro-life states to Connecticut to get their abortions on your dime. You know, we already heard from, right?
A crowd of hundreds of people participating in a March for Life at the state capitol on Wednesday showed their disapproval for the legislation.
Instead of using taxpayer dollars to end the life of vulnerable unborn children, we should be using that money to provide support and services to women, children, and families in need in Connecticut.
The Human Services Committee has until Thursday to vote on the bill for it to be able to move to the General Assembly. State Representative Matt Blumenthal is part of the Reproductive Rights Caucus and is among those who supports the bill.
To ensure that the medical professionals that are providing that care get compensated for it, but also to ensure that we're doing our part to ensure that these individuals get the care that they need and deserve.
After Roe v. Wade was overturned, Governor Ned Lamont reaffirmed his commitment to keeping abortions legal in Connecticut, as other states try to do the opposite. Advocates argue this bill could provide people in need with critical care.
I think, expanding access to the health care surrounding reproductive and abortion care saves lives.
The Human Services Committee is set to meet at 10:30 tomorrow morning. Live at the state capitol, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Let's now get a first check of the forecast here. Look at those temperatures.
Look at them. I know.
Spring-like day out there.
Felt really good out there. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us right now. Rach, this was the warmest day that we have seen so far this year. 65 degrees today at Windsor Locks. Temperatures in the mid-60s for the Hartford area, too. It was not as warm at the Connecticut shoreline with temperatures between 55 to near 60, but still a beautiful day all across the state. Tomorrow won't be quite as warm, but will still be well above average. And we have the chance for a few scattered showers, but most of the day is dry. 53 right now in Hartford. We're close to the 50-degree mark in the New Haven area. The radar is showing all these light showers and sprinkles, but a lot of these aren't reaching the ground. However, as we head through the day tomorrow, we will increase our chances of seeing a few scattered showers. Temperatures tonight do not drop all that much. We wake up tomorrow morning in the 40s, so the low temperature tonight will be close to the average high temperature for this time of year. There's a chance for a light shower or sprinkle in the morning, but a better chance for showers as we head into the afternoon and the early evening. High temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 50s. There's a chance, if we see a couple breaks in the overcast, that we could be as warm as today. I think the clouds hang a little bit tougher, a little bit more stubborn, but we'll see how we do. And then we have another chance for rain heading into this weekend, this one more widespread. Your full forecast coming up. All right, thank you, Rachel. Well, new at 10 research performed here in Connecticut is being credited as proof of war crimes committed by Russian President Vladimir Putin in Ukraine.
All of this comes as the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Putin. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joining us in studio tonight to explain the work being done here in Connecticut at Yale University. Jake.
That's right. Nathaniel Raymond and the team at Yale began researching this with the U.S. State Department last year, looking for possible war crimes. And what they found is evidence of Russia taking thousands of kids away from Ukraine into Russian re-education camps.
They've taken some of these children, including one girl, a 12-year-old from Mariupol named Anya, to a stadium in Moscow and paraded them in front of 50,000 people and made them hug soldiers who destroyed their city and in some cases killed their parents in indiscriminate bombardment.
Last fall, the research team at Yale started looking for evidence of war crimes, but did not expect to find thousands of kids being taken into camps all across Russia for re-education.
If they have a phone, the phone's taken. They can't speak Ukrainian, they can only speak Russian. They are subjected to patriotic Russian national education. But more seriously, in 2 cases, we know that boys from the ages of 14 to 17 are undergoing military training.
Other children are being forcefully put up for adoption for Russian families. In some cases, Ukrainian families are being charged great deals of money to be reunited with their kids in areas of Russian control.
The camps we identified stretch over 3,500 miles from the Black Sea all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Some of them are closer to Alaska than they are to even Siberia or Moscow.
After analyzing tons of data, satellite images, and social media reports, the team handing the report to the U.S. State Department.
Secretary Blinken said that this report for the State Department helped with the president's determination that crimes against humanity had been committed.
Prompting the president to talk about the issue while overseas.
As President Biden said correctly in Warsaw, that Russia is stealing Ukraine's children to try to steal Ukraine's future.
And since the report was released, the team says they found evidence of 6,000 more children being taken into these camps. Coming up at 11, I'll explain what the research team is working on next. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you very much. And a Velo flight to Tweed New Haven Airport was diverted to Bradley International Airport this afternoon because of a mechanical issue. The flight was coming from West Palm Beach in Florida. In a statement, a Velo spokesperson says safety was never an issue because the plane has a redundant hydraulic system. The flight was redirected to Windsor Locks as an extra precaution. While those we spoke to say they're happy to land safely, they wish there was better communication.
I stuck my head in and thanked the pilots and the crew. One of the crew members apologized, and I said, never apologize for safety.
What concerned me was that there was no representative here to greet us from either Bradley or from somewhere. I mean, there was just no communication, no policy or procedure because Avelo isn't here.
Avelo has also apologized for the inconvenience and says it worked to get passengers quickly back to New Haven. The airplane will be reviewed by maintenance technicians to see what went wrong. The FAA is also investigating.
Caught on camera tonight, 5 teens taken into custody after East Haven police say that they were caught in a stolen car. Police released this dash cam footage from the arrest. The car appears to end up at a dead end before turning around and hitting several police cruisers while trying to escape. The car eventually broke down. The teens were arrested. Joseph Malillo Middle School and the East Haven Academy briefly went into lockdown during the incident.
A former West Haven town official is sentenced to 13 months in prison for COVID-19 relief fraud. John Bernardo and several others are accused of misusing and mishandling hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal money that was supposed to go to the city's COVID-19 response. Bernardo formed a group that received more than $600 grand for services that were ultimately never provided.
New at 10 tonight, a new London law firm says it's reached a $12 million settlement with the DCF, the largest personal injury settlement paid by the state of Connecticut in the state's history. The Reardon law firm says the case involves baby Dylan, a 13-month-old boy who was abused while with a foster family in DCF custody. The lawyers say that DCF knew Dylan's foster mother had a criminal history and accusations of abuse and neglect. Dylan suffered many injuries, including broken bones and an eye hemorrhage. He's now 8, but can no longer walk, talk, or feed himself. The $12 million will go into a trust fund to help Dylan's new adoptive family care for him for the rest of his life.
Well, new at 10, police in Plainfield are asking for your help after they say a large amount of money was stolen from an Italian restaurant. Plainfield police released these surveillance photos of the suspect and the black SUV used in the burglary. It happened just after 2:30 Monday morning at Mr. Z's restaurant on Route 12 near the intersection with Lathrop Road. Officers didn't say how much money was stolen, only saying it was, quote, a significant sum. Anyone with information should call Plainfield Police.
To North Haven tonight, where police are looking for a trailer stolen from the town's school system. North Haven police say that this tan GMC Sierra pickup truck entered the campus of the middle and high schools. We're told that somebody inside hooked up the white utility trailer that contained all of the lacrosse equipment for the North Haven team and then drove away. Anyone with information should call North Haven Police.
Hamden's old middle school is being torn down and will be replaced by an arts and cultural center. The funding is coming in from, in the form of $5.4 million from a community investment fund. The school will be demolished and a new building will be put up that leaders say will have the community in mind. Those who support the project say this has been needed for years.
Because it has been one crying out in need for a long time, and as the mayor said, it has become a site of a blight and an eyesore and also an environmental disaster for a very long time.
Well, the project will take place over the next 5 years.